one and only Stephen Cole. We're linking up with him now because he's an American writer of musicals. He writes the lyrics and books of musicals, and of course he has us in stages, and his one-man show is on in Edinburgh at the very moment. It's CAMELTON, and it tells it's mad and musical, and it tells about the two Brooklyn Jews, some Middle Eastern producers, a Qatari movie star, flying carpets, Croatian acrobats, Russian ballet dancers, an Italian director, the desert, a lot of camels, and loads of music. So unbelievable. Here we have Stephen Cole. So welcome back to Welsh Coast Radio, Stephen. How's it all going in Edinburgh?
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. And you know that I was just hearing a little bit about what a show there. Remember the wonderful music by David Crane,
yes,
who is also obviously my co-conspirator who went with me to the Middle East and is one of the characters I play in the show, Hamilton. It's going great here. I'm sitting here actually looking at the Edinburgh Castle, but I did a show today at 2 p.m. and I was waiting around to speak to you, which is just so lovely to do again.
Yes, right. Well, you have plaudits already. You know, they're saying it's a fascinating adventure and fun and entertainment moment in the theatre. Stephen Cole is hilarious, best fun, and the best Broadway writer in ages when it comes to comedy, and a cornucopia of clever quips and memories. So there we are. It's already coming in, and you're having these plaudits. So it's going well for you, Stephen.
It's going well. We've done 2 preview performances. Yesterday, the first preview, I felt like I was shot out of a cannon because we had just finished tech rehearsals maybe 5 minutes before. But I did it, and it was lovely. Lovely audience laughed at my exploits and applauded the songs. And today, I was a little calmer. It felt like, I could do this, and I felt like I just had a bunch of people in my living room to tell them this incredible story.
Well, that's lovely.
As David Crane always says, no one else has this story but us. And I'm the one who has chosen to tell it.
Well, it's bizarre.
Do it as a one-man show.
It's bizarre. You know, it's hardly believable, but it's all true that you were writing another musical, and then you had a message from the Emir of Qatar, and wanting you to write a musical for them. And all you had in an email was just these words: "We want you write musical. How much?" So you tell us the story now, Stephen. Go on.
Well, that was the email that I got one snowy morning in February of 2005, 21 years ago now. Wow. And it was I thought it was a joke, the kind of things that say, "You've won the lottery, give us your bank statement now." But I still had this curiosity. And because it did say, call this number in Dubai. And I had to look up Dubai, and I saw how rich it was. So I told them to call me. And they did. And they said the same thing. "We want you to write musical. How much?" And I asked some questions. They had no answers for me. But I called my agent. And I told him I just heard the 2 greatest words in the English language, "how much?" And I told him to ask for a lot of money, and he did. And then they said no. But then we asked them what they would pay us, and they came back with a number slightly lower, but it was still fabulous. So I said, "Take it. I won't have to rhyme. It won't be in English." But it was in English.
Wow.
And then they put me together with a composer I had never met, David Crane, and it took months before they put us together. And it turned out that we always say we were Siamese Jews because we looked exactly alike, and we were joined at the hip. And we were both born in Brooklyn. We both had very interesting, difficult mothers, and we bonded immediately. And he turned out to be the most wonderful composer. And we were told, we were then whisked off to Dubai, where we were then whisked off to Qatar, and we were shown that we were going to write the musical that would go into the Aspire Stadium that they were building, the largest domed soccer stadium in the world. And we thought, oh my God, how are we going to do a musical in a football field? But we did fill it. And they built a stage as big as the Palladium, and they built sets out of Aida and costumes from the Lion King, and we had 20 camels pooping everywhere, and falcons, and fire eaters, and Croatian acrobats, and Russian ballet dancers. It was huge, and the whole thing took 9 months from the time that they contacted me, and we wound up going and getting to see the show, and it was unbelievable. And so when that story ended, we thought, oh, what have we got here? And David and I got together and wrote a musical called The Road to Qatar, and that played first in Texas, then off Broadway, then in London, then in the Edinburgh Festival, where it was nominated for Best Musical. And so now, all these years later, I thought, well, there's got to be some juice left in this lemon. So I decided to turn it into my one-man show. And I thought, what better title to hope that people buy tickets and pay £1,000 than Camelton?
Well, yes, a deliberate play on words. And
yes, exactly.
Incredible. And of course, you're at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. You're playing each day at around about 2 o'clock or 2:05. You actually start.
Exactly.
And it's an hour-long show. And how can everyone get tickets should they be getting up to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival?
Well, yes, it's at the Gilded Balloon Teviot Wine Bar, so it's very simple to Google that and get tickets. And I would love that. I mean, everybody is here now. The place is jumping, and I had such an interesting audience today. I had one man with his mother she was quite elderly, but she knew everything about the Catskill Mountains and Grossinger's, which I also talk about in the show. And I do a lot of my Catskill shtick in the show, because that same year that we went to the Middle East, I was doing 3 productions of my show Saturday night at Grossinger's. So there was the juxtaposition of my Jewish show and my non-Jewish show.
But of course, you have the book Camelton, and of course it's
yes.
and now so it's for everyone to try to get their hands on the book Camelton as well. And how can
that's on Amazon?
There we are. That's on
Amazon. Just go to Amazon. Stephen Cole Camelton, and it's gotten some rave reviews. It is the same story, but fully true. In other words, The Road to Qatar is a fictionalized version. Hamilton
right, but this is the bang on
a shorter version, and the book itself tells everything. And in fact, I'm afraid that somebody in the Middle East is going to read the book and come and kill me.
But you're right.
And I also go on and tell about how it turned itself into The Road to Qatar.
Well, that's just, that goes full circle then, doesn't it? But no, we wish you every success, and I know that everyone who comes to the show, well, they'll be in stitches, because it's unbelievable. It's a true story to be called from America to put a show on for the Emir of Qatar. But you tell it so well, Stephen Cole, so I'm going to say to everyone, get along to the Gilded Balloon and get to see the musical, the one-man mini musical Camelton. So thank you very much again, Stephen, for linking up with us. I'm going to be playing, hopefully later we'll play songs from Camelton, but in the meantime...
Yes, the newest song, which I'm hoping you'll play, David Crane and I wrote special for the show, and that is The Power of Yes. Because that was the moral of the story. What happens when you say yes? And so we turned serious at the end, and it's fun to sing. It really is.
Well, as I go to set that up, I'm going to play Taking the Veil, which is my favourite song of yours. It's from Merman's Apprentice and written by Stephen Cole and David Evans. Stephen, thank you very much. Have the whale of a time up at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival right the way through to the 31st of August. Take good care of yourself.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Love to you.
Bye-bye.